back with another episode of Adventures with Reach Into Mine. And on this week's episode, I am talking about my hair because I have hit my 3-year mark. Woo! Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons, my pros and cons of having locks and things I wish I would have done differently if I had known. So I'm going to do 5 pros and 5 cons. The first pro is they are super duper low maintenance, especially with being a new mom. I'm so happy that I have locks because my hair is really one thing that I usually don't have to worry about. I did my retwist when Sunny was about 2 weeks and I have not done a retwist since, but I'm also not a big fan of having my locks look all fresh all the time because they tend to look a little thinner to me. So I'm okay with having some like roots that are, I'm okay with having some, you know, like new growth, some loose hairs. I'm totally fine with that. I mean, they're locks. They're not meant to be perfect all the time. So yes, a huge pro for me is the fact that they are so low maintenance. I don't have to worry about my hair with the baby, with my new schedule, and I literally retwist every 3 months. The last time I did a retwist, I had so much new growth. If I can find a clip, I will edit it in right here so you guys can see how much new growth I had right before I did my my dye. And I usually dye my hair once a year. So I'm probably not gonna do another dye job on my hair until 2021, maybe before I go to Jamaica. I'm not really sure when I'm gonna do it, but for some special occasion, maybe our wedding anniversary or something. Part of having locks is you can still do a lot of styles with your hair like you can with loose hair. You really can. Sometimes I leave it half down, half up like this, and the longer they get, the more styles I can do. Sometimes I still do my pigtails. Sometimes I leave them all out. You can put jewelry in your hair. You can even put protective styles in your hair. I actually have a video up of me putting twists in my hair right before I delivered Sunny. So yeah, I've been able to get really versatile with my locks, which has been a total plus. Actually, my locks are so bomb that my husband is so jealous because he wants me to start his locks, but I really want him to keep loose hair and he's hating in the background. And so is Sunny apparently. The next pro for me, the next pro for me is being able to retain length. So I know when I had looser hair, my hair was able to get longer, but definitely not as fast. I think by the time for the next 3 years come, my locks will be easily like down to here within the next 3 years. I don't know if I would have been able to retain that length with loose hair without, with this like least effort. Like I don't have to put a whole lot of effort into my hair to keep it long and healthy. So that's also something for me. Usually in the wintertime, my hair tends to break a little bit more, and so with my locks I don't really have to worry about breakage. I do wrap my head like a lot most of the time when I'm going out. Let me go ahead and plug myself because you know I'm the head wrap plug. Go to headoverhill.com. We have custom pashmina head wraps, 6 feet by 4 feet, big, beautiful, wonderful. I have a head wrap haul and a head wrap tutorial on here, so get hip, girl. And so, or guy, because Taman also makes head wrap tutorials. Literally anybody can wrap their head, and it can be quite dressy if you need to go somewhere. You know, you can get really versatile with your hair wraps too. But because of my hair wraps and because of my locks, I really don't have to worry too much about my hair in the winter time. I do keep my hair covered and keep it oiled up because it tends to dry out. But the weather in Georgia and the weather in Connecticut is a lot different. So I think maybe my hair was more brittle when I was in Connecticut because it was cold for more time. Would you say that's true, honey? I feel like that makes sense. Pro number 4 is, so I was just reading this article, but it was talking about how basically your locks are with you because you keep them for so long, like years and years. Your locks retain a lot of energy. And so whatever energy you put into your hair is the energy that you kind of feel. And I do feel like my hair has amazing like energy. I started my locks when me and my husband like got together, like really. I think we were together for like a year and a half before I actually decided to go ahead and start my locks. And I feel like we've just had so many amazing things happen, even with like, you know, these are the locks I gave birth like with. So I just feel like they have such good energy. So yeah, and you don't shed that energy. You keep it all in there because the other pro, you're retaining that length. And pro number 5 and final pro is that locks can teach you a lot. mostly it's going to teach you patience and whether you're able to dedicate yourself to something. And for me, that was one of the reasons why I didn't start my locks in college, was because I really was like, you know, I want to do sew-ins, I want to get braids, I want to get twists, I want to get all this stuff. I don't know if I can really I don't know if I can really keep my locks, you know, through the short period, because I'm gonna want to switch my hair up, blah blah blah. But at the beginning of my lock journey, I actually was wearing wigs and getting super creative with the wigs. Like, they were all different colors, they were super cute, and I honestly wore wigs until my locks just kind of started to actually lock a little bit, and then I wore my hair out. But I was still even able to get creative with my hair and my styles at the beginning of my lock journey. So yeah, I mean, it's a journey. You learn how to, you know, style them so that you feel comfortable, style them so that you feel beautiful. You learn how to take care of them. At least I take care of them on my own. I don't go to a loctician. I just love them a lot. I mean, they're just easy for me, really easy. The cons of having locks. If you're one of those people who are indecisive and can't really stick with a hairstyle, a con would be the fact that they're permanent, you know? Like, you can take them out, but it will take a while to actually loosen up, get your loose hair back. So yeah, a con would be that they are permanent, and that once you do something to them, like say you bleach them, you can dye back down to a darker color. But I find that when people start like switching colors and like stuff, their locks tend to like just turn green or have like some like hue of green. I actually think that happens to loose hair too. Like, when you just start dyeing it too much, it retains that icky color. Even when I dyed my hair, I can still see like there would be like bulbs of the previous color. So another con is the buildup. This is one of the things I wish I had known earlier, was the importance of wearing your bonnet literally every night, because I will get the meanest lint buildup, and I will get the meanest like just like dirt buildup. If I'm not wearing my bonnet, or if I'm going outside a whole lot, like I'll get some root buildup, and it's actually pretty hard to get out. You know, it's not an easy process. So that is definitely a con, because when you wash your hair with loose hair, the dirt just comes right out. So yeah, the buildup is an issue for me, but that's low-key my own fault, and I wish I had known that it would be a lot better if I wore my bonnet every single night. I guess another con would be that you can't really wear your hair in a ponytail every day, because that will thin out your locks, especially the longer they get, the heavier they get. I find that the ones at the front, they have this divot, like flat piece in them, and that's because of where I keep my rubber band. And I would say that that's probably, if you can see it in the camera, it's probably the weakest part of my locks because of when I put it in a ponytail. So that means that I'm gonna have to put it in ponytails less now that my hair is getting longer and heavier, which sucks, because, you know, who doesn't like to just throw their hair up in a ponytail or throw their hair up in a bun, you know, when you're running out. So that's something you have to definitely monitor, how much you're putting your hair in updo. Another con is when it is your wash day and retwist day, it does take a hot minute. It takes me, because you have to wash it a bunch of times to make sure that you get all the shampoo out. And that's a process. And usually I usually don't wash my hair very much. So when I do wash it, it tends to have a lot of dirt. So I have to wash it like 2-3 times. It's not like a one and done type situation. And then, you know, you have to wait for it to dry a little bit, and then you retwist and you have to wait for that to dry. And yeah, so wash day and retwist day is definitely a job. So that's definitely maybe a con as well. Another thing is, so if, say you use a different blow dryer with your loose hair, like, it's not the end of the world, you know, like you can still recover from that. But when you do certain things to your locks, like it causes like permanent damage, because you can't just snip off the end. Like, snipping off the end is snipping off inches or whatever of your lock. So when you do stuff to it, like say if you go to a loctician and you twist your hair clockwise and they twist it counterclockwise, like that could really mess up your locks. And like once they're messed up, like once they start to thin out, it's a job to, you know, make the lock healthy again, especially if it starts to thin, because like you're gonna have to either fill it in with some other hair. I saw one lady who collects the loose hair from her locks and then uses that and crochets it into where she has thinning, but that's a lot of work. Like, that's a lot of work. So you should twist your hair wrong, or your locks start to get weak, I think, in my opinion, it's pretty much over for you. You're gonna have to probably start over again, because, you know, they really depend on like fluid health. Like if you have one weak point, the lock is just weak. Like it's really hard to get it back strong. And usually the weak point will be closer up to the top, because that's where you're doing, you know, that's where you're putting the most tension on the lock when you're doing lock styles, or when you're doing updo, or whatever the case may be. So if you have some breakage at the top, that means your whole lock, you're gonna have to lose the whole thing. And I know some people who locks just be falling out. So those are all the pros and cons that I have for you guys today. Happy 3-year Loc'Versary to me. Drop some of the pros and cons of your lock journey in the comment section. I want to hear from you, and let me let you guys see what I'm looking like at 3 years. Oh, you jealous over there? Huh? Alrighty friends, thanks for tuning in today. Let's talk about your lock journey in the comment section, and let me know what other type of lock videos you guys want to see from me. Thanks for tuning in for this episode of Adventures of Reaching to Mind. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell to stay notified for all of our new content, and we will see you next time. Peace.